In the library of London University, a famous quote was etched at the entrance. It read, "A person is born and dies, but if they do good for society, they become immortal." A young student walked right up to that quote, took a fountain pen, and crossed the second line out. That student was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. When the stunned professors demanded an explanation for the vandalism, he told them the quote was a lie. Ambedkar argued that doing good deeds guarantees nothing. A hero dies a permanent, absolute death if those in power intentionally destroy their history. Conversely, even a person who does harm can become immortal if historians choose to write them a flattering story. The Indian Rebellion of 1857 illustrates this logic. The textbooks we read today proudly list the leaders of the uprising, yet the narrative taught in schools omits foundational figures whose actions helped initiate the revolt. The story of 1857 is defined by two distinct conflicts: the physical battle against colonial rule and an ongoing ideological struggle over who is allowed to be remembered. Look at the standard history of the mutiny. Mangal Pandey is credited as the primary spark, but Pandey was serving in the British Indian Army alongside a Dalit soldier named Matadin Valmiki. The two men worked in the same units, but a strict caste hierarchy divided them. When Matadin asked Pandey for a drink from his water pot, Pandey refused, claiming that a Dalit's touch would defile the vessel. Matadin's retort exposed a massive hypocrisy. He pointed out that while Pandey feared a fellow soldier's touch would ruin his water, he had no problem using his teeth to tear open British gun cartridges, greased with cow and pig fat. This confrontation shattered the high-caste soldiers' sense of religious purity. By exposing that they were already compromised in the eyes of their faith, Matadin provided the psychological shock that pushed Pandey and the army toward open mutiny. The British investigation eventually uncovered Matadin's role as a catalyst. As the colonial government moved to crush the rebellion, they executed Matadin Valmiki alongside the more famous figures of the uprising. The trigger for India's most famous rebellion was a direct challenge to caste hypocrisy, a detail that the mainstream historical record has largely buried. While the mutiny spread, a man named Banke Chamar was operating in the Jaunpur district of Uttar Pradesh. Fighting under the leader Harpal Singh, Banke Chamar became a highly effective rebel, personally eliminating dozens of British soldiers. Compared to a sepoy's meager monthly wage, the colonial government offered a staggering 50,000 rupees for Banke Chamar. Today, that bounty equals roughly 5 crore rupees, one of the highest rewards ever offered by the empire, marking him a high-priority threat. British military tactics failed to capture him on the battlefield. Instead, his arrest was made possible only after informants from among his own upper caste peers betrayed his location to the authorities. Banke Chamar withstood the full weight of the colonial military, yet he fell to internal betrayal, a loss compounded by a century of silence in the historical record. After the rebellion, the British officially named 18 primary rebels in the region. Banke Chamar was a principal figure on that list. Despite this official recognition, his name is absent from the textbooks used in Indian schools today. This absence is the result of a deliberate choice by historians to exclude Bahujan contributions, effectively stripping these communities of their legacy of resistance. This returns us to Ambedkar's warning. Figures like Matadin Valmiki and Banke Chamar did their part for history, but their immortality now depends on us. Their place in our memory relies entirely on our willingness to share their story.